It's Friday morning, the first Friday of the month, and that means it's time for Eye on Terre Haute. That's where we sit down with Terre Haute Mayor Duke Bennett and discuss what's going on in the city of Terre Haute. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, welcome. Glad to be here.
Well, thank you so much. And with the elections that took place this week, a big thing in Indiana was the passage of the property tax caps. Those are going to be made permanent into the state constitution. And there's a lot of discussion now about this. We've been talking about it for months here on Eye on Terre Haute about what could possibly happen. How worried are you now for the city and for other cities around the state now that it has passed?
Well, you know, I had a feeling it would pass. I mean, that seemed to be the way it was going. There was no big effort to defeat it. And so I've been planning all along for that to happen, but I still have lots of concerns about it. You know, and I've said from the very beginning, I support the cap. They having an option of having a cap. Okay, that's fine, because the burden has always been on the property taxpayers. But you have to have a way to fund local government. I mean, that's the way it's always been. And if you put the caps in place, you take the funding away, how is local government supposed to function? And the legislature has said, well, you can have another local option income tax. So to me, you're just trading, you know, and people don't want to pay more taxes, and I understand that completely, but you have to function. The government has to function properly. And so instead of people getting their budgets in line, the government is kind of forcing you to live with less revenue, and those changes will have to be made. I think we've done a pretty good job with our budget, but who would have ever thought you'd had to cut 24, almost 25% of your budget out, you know, in order to meet these caps? What I would think would have been better is if they would have left the 2% cap in place for everybody. Instead of the 1, 2, and 3, have the 2% across the board. That would have been a $2.3 million cut for the city. We could have absorbed that, no problem at all, and then your caps are in place. I think what's going to happen now is assessed values will begin to go up. Reassessment will affect this, and in the future, you'll still pay more taxes. You won't pay more than 1% of the assessed value, but you're going to be paying more in taxes across the board. And we'll just have to see what that shakes out. But people are going to have to live with less, because that's what we have. We don't have a choice. And so now that it's in the Constitution, it's permanent, and this is the way we're going to move forward.
Okay, and kind of switching gears now and talking about, we're in the height of crow season now, and we know that there has been a crow committee formed in Terre Haute. Are they in action right now?
Yeah, we're just starting to get out and do the actual, you know, scaring of the crows. We had to jump through some legal hoops and do some different things, get people trained properly. But the crows started showing up last week. Most of them are the scouts, and then now you're starting to have a few more. I mean, the big flocks aren't here, but they're coming. They're just, you know, they're just outside the city, and so you'll begin to hear the screamers first to warn you that we're going to shoot off some loud fireworks. And you'll start to hear that in the evenings, and then we'll see how that works, and we'll move around to some different spots. So you may hear it in one area one night and a little bit different area another night, till we kind of get a feel for where we can redirect these crows. It's you know, we got a good plan. We just have to work with it and see how these crows react.
And people can call your office if they'd like to volunteer as well.
Absolutely. We'll still take volunteers. We had a great turnout the other night, and I think we got a good pool to start with. But we'll be happy to take other volunteers.
And we also want to remind people that on Monday starts leaf pickup for the city.
We are doing one pass, as we talked about on here, and we've been handing out bags. This week we started having leaf bags, big green ones, for you to use. We prefer you to mulch or compost your leaves, or bag them if you would, and set them out with your trash. If you bag them, put them right wherever you put your trash at. I've noticed some people putting them out in front. Put them by where your trash can is. If trash is in the alley, put it next to your trash can. But we'll be coming out with the leaf vacs next week. It'll take us about 2 months to get through the city, but we'll do that as long until it starts freezing, and, you know, when the leaves are frozen to the ground, and we'll try to get them all picked up.
And again, you're going to be updating that on your website, and again, we have the link to that on our website at WTHI-TV.com, so we're going to make sure that you stay informed.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you very much for keeping us updated and telling us what's going on in the city. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
If you'd like to see this segment again, or you have a segment and idea of your own, log on to our website at WTHI-TV.com and click on the community page.